Hey, heart seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, where we believe that our hearts are the foundation of our well being and happiness. I am your host, Kiana Talena. In this episode, I have a simple question for you. And hopefully, by the time we get to the end of this episode, you have enough information in order for you to redesign the life that you want. So, the question that I will pose to you is, what is the definition of your life? See, it's important for us to understand what the definition of our life is because it allows that to be our compass, our guide, our path in which we choose to go. And a lot of times we kind of just go throughout our day and hoping that things would just kind of fall into place with no real guide on how we want our day to look. And so what typically happens is you get to the end of the day and you are so confused, burnt out, and you said to yourself, dag, I didn't get a chance to do that today. Now, I'm not saying that each and every day you will have the opportunity to accomplish all that you want, but what I am saying is that there should be a definition that you have created for your life. Otherwise, someone else will come in and define how that should look for you. See, a lot of times people will go through life and will allow the titles that are placed on their names, if that's just mother, wife, whatever your career goals may be, doctor in front of. But you never really get a chance to live full out as to who you are supposed to be, designed to be. Why? Because you have not taken the necessary steps in order for you to figure out who that is. Who is it that you want to become? Who is it that you need to become in order for those hopes, dreams, goals, and desires that you have in order to come into fruition? So it is my desire, it is my hope for you today that as you go through and listen to this episode and you are taking some copious notes, I'm hoping that it will give you more clarity as to why defining your life is going to be important. You know, I just talked about clarity, but really defining your life is almost like a transformational process that brings clarity and purpose and direction to your journey. It's almost like when you get into your car and you plug in the address to where you want to go, and that GPS begins to tell you step by step what it is that you need to do in order to get to that place. Now, what typically happens sometimes, there may be some detours in the road. There may be some traffic up ahead. There may be some things that transpire along the way, but that GPS has given you a roadmap as to the best way for you to get to your destination. Sometimes it may tell you, here's the fastest route, here's the longest route, here's the route with tolls, whatever that may be. But I believe that if we go throughout our day without having a plan, better yet, if we are living our life without being able to define it, then how will we begin to step into purpose? How will we begin to show up as the true and authentic person that we are designed to be? So again, being able to define your life is bringing about some clarity and focus. It helps you in your decision making to make sure that things are clear and that they are aligning with your values and your goals. Again, they act as your compass because they are truly guiding you through life's various choices and challenges. And I say challenges because they come up. Again, we know that this is life. Life is not going to be perfect, but you have to be able to detour when those things come up. And when you have a definition for your life, when those challenges do come up and you need to be able to detour, it's a little easier when you have already planned ahead and know where it is that you want to go. Again, if we go back to that whole GPS, plugging it in, if you are looking at the GPS and it begins to detour you. It is still taking you to your destination. It just may be taking you a different direction in order to get there, but you know where it is that you are getting ready to go. So why would we not operate our lives in the same manner? Again, it brings the clarity and focus. It also gives you your motivation and your drive. Because when you know your purpose, it begins to fuel your motivation. It begins to drive you to pursue your passions and being able to persist through those obstacles. I know, I know you don't like that word. You don't like obstacles. You don't like challenges. Get over it. It happens. They're going to pop up. But look at them as speed bumps in the road. You're still going to get there, but it may take you a little longer. You may need to slow down a little bit to go over that speed bump. You may need to be able to stop at that stop sign. You may be sitting in a little bit of traffic, but you are still on your way. Again, motivation, it drives you. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, your ability to be able to achieve your goals that you have aligned for your life, because it's all pointing back to the definition that you have given for yourself. It gives you that deeper sense of fulfillment and accomplishment when you are going throughout life and when things begin to pop up. The next thing that it gives you is it gives you your opportunity to be authentic and to move through life with confidence. Have you ever seen someone who just walks in the room and you know that they are lacking with confidence? You can look at them by their posture. You can look at them based off of if their head is down. You can look at them if you're having a conversation. Are their eyes shifty? Are they unable to keep eye contact with you? When you know what you know about you, you throw your shoulders back and you walk into a room different. Because even when life is lifing, it doesn't change the fact that you have walked into a room as the authentic version of yourself. It does not matter if you have cried in the car before you had to go and do what you needed to do, but it gives you this sense of authenticity where you know you and you are standing 10 toes down in what it is that you know about you and what you know to be true about you. So there's a different level of boldness. There's a different level of confidence about you when you are being true to yourself. Why? Because you have a well-defined life purpose, which is encouraging you to live authentically and being able to just embrace who you truly are. Again, if we even just look at the biblical story of David, when he was getting ready to go and fight Goliath and they were giving him armor, he had to give it back because he's like, this is too heavy for me. I can't carry this. Hey, I'm used to being out here slinging bears and lions. I'm not out here with armor, but yet you want me to go against the giant and wear something that I don't typically have. So he's like, nah, I'm good. Just give me my slingshot and these rocks, and I'm going to go out here and do what I need to do, because that was who he was authentically. So I need us to be able to show up and show out as to who we are. But again, it all goes back to, who are you? What are you defining your life as? Who are you defining your life as? The next thing is it's going to build up your resilience and your adaptability. You have to be able to cope with your challenges. So when you have a clear sense of purpose, it provides you the stability and the resilience that you need in order to fight in adversity. What is it that you're going to do when things happen? What is going to happen if, God forbid, you lose your job? What will happen if your relationship begins to crumble? What will happen if something happens within your business? What happens? How do you operate? What is the next step? See, most time we kind of just show up in life and it's like, oh, I know that everything is going to go as planned. Lie. Life happens. Things happen that we have no control over. And so if there is no contingency plan, if there is no backup plan, if you are not preparing for what could potentially happen, you are already at a deficit. And so we have to begin to live our lives in a manner where we are designing it with a backup plan in place. That's not to say that the backup plan is going to ever be needed. But if you're operating in a manner where if something were to happen, you don't have a next step, that is a problem. And so I need us to get to a place where we are operating our lives. Yes, we move in faith and not with fear. And having a contingency plan has nothing to do with fear. It's about you being prepared. It's about you being prepared. And so I want us to get to a place where we are making sure that we're covered. God has us, yes. And we also have a plan in place. All right. So the next thing is going to be our impact and our legacy. You all, when we are looking at Fortune 500 companies, or we're looking at the 1% in the world, they are thinking about, because they have designed what it is that they want in life for not just this generation. They don't do things just for themselves. They are looking at, how is this going to impact my next 3 generations? How is it going to impact them? So we have to start thinking the same way. When we're thinking about our positive influences and our life's purpose and how it allows us to be intentional and being able to create a positive impact, not just on those around us, but how does it impact the world? How does it impact your community? Let's take it a step further. How does it impact your street? How does it impact your household? We have to start thinking that way. And we have to start thinking about being able to leave a legacy. So when we are considering leaving a legacy, again, what are we leaving behind? How are we inspiring others and being able to make contributions that align with our long-term visions? So again, when we're thinking about the jobs that we're taking or the businesses that we're taking, or shoot, even just being able to have children with people, you have to understand and start thinking about, what legacy can I build with this person? What are their goals? What are their dreams? What do they value? See, most people go, and I'm going on a tangent about dating or relationships, because now you have this whole culture of, what do you bring to the table? No, I need to know, what are your values? What do you value? Because what you value and how you value it is going to show me and show my children and your children, if you have any, how we're going to operate and we're going to move. What is it that we're going to do? What are we going to build together? So you need to know these things before you enter into relationships, before you get into companies where you don't know what their mission and vision statement is. Yes, it may be great. They're paying you all this money, but what do they believe in? How can you support a company that you don't even understand their mission and their vision statement? That's why it's so important, even when you're building a business, you start with the mission and vision in mind, because that's always going to be what you're going to go back to when you're making decisions within that business. So I just want us to get to a place where we are clear, where we have clarity and focus and motivation and drive and authenticity and confidence, resilience, adaptability, impact, and legacy. So let's take some time to define our life's purpose. Let's figure out those steps that we need in order to create our own life's purpose. So the first thing that I'm going to need you to do, if you're able to, is to find a quiet place, a comfortable place where you can reflect without distractions. This is important. And so we have to begin to treat those things within our life that are important as important. You are having a meeting with you. So get quiet. The very first thing that I'm going to need you to do is self-reflect. So the question that I'll pose to you is, what activities and topics and hobbies make you feel most alive and engaged? That's going to speak to your passions and your interests. The second thing is, what are your strengths and talents? What are you naturally good at? And what do others often come to you to help for? The third thing is, what are your values and beliefs? So what core values and beliefs guide your decisions and actions? Number 4, again, your impact and legacy. How do you want to be remembered? And what impact do you want to have on others and the world? Number 5, your inspirations and role models. Who inspires you and why? What qualities do they possess that you admire? So if you've had the opportunity to take down those questions and then have answered them, let's go on to step 2. I need you to identify themes. What do I mean by that? Look at your patterns. What common themes or recurring ideas or patterns offer insights into your passions, values, and your desired impact? Do you know? See, the most important points or themes are going to stand out to you. You're not going to have to think about them long. And then number 3, you're going to craft your definition. So here is an example of my definition. My definition is to inspire and empower others to live authentically and confidently by embracing their true selves. Through coaching, podcasting, and consulting, I aim to bridge gaps between employees and stakeholders, promote personal growth, and create a positive impact in both personal and professional spheres. My journey involves continuous learning, vulnerability, and the pursuit of strategic solutions to help others overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. So that is going to be an example of how you can begin to craft and define your life's purpose. Now, you may not get it the first time. You may have to keep going back and tweaking it and refining your statement until it feels authentic and meaningful to you. So revise it again and again for clarity over time and being able to reflect on it regularly. How does it feel to you? How does it make you feel when you say it? Because that's going to ensure that you continue to be guided by what it is that you set. Say it daily. Allow it to be part of your affirmation. Get it to the point where you can say it without having to look at it. So it's part of your life now. Why? Because it is you. It is who you have created. No one else can come in and define who you are if you have already defined who you are. And the other piece that I can say to you regarding this is share it with your accountability. Share your definitions with your trusted friends, your mentors, your accountability, your support group. Because it's going to be important as you begin to create this person, being able to define the life that you want. You are now creating a new version of you. And it's going to be difficult at first because you're used to showing up as the imposter version of you. So it's time. It's beyond time. It's time for you to be able to take control of your life. It's time for you to be able to show up and be the authentic version of you that you were created to be. Your time is now. We talked about in last week's topic to be able to surrender your will to God. And in surrendering your will, hopefully you have gone through that process, because now it's the ability to be able to hear even clearly as to who you are, even more clearly as to who you are and who you are supposed to be. But first, you have to understand whose you are. And in understanding whose you are, it gives you a foundation as to who you are. So I'm hoping that you all got something from this episode. I'm excited about you being able to set a definition for your life, because if you don't set it, I promise you that someone else will. And then you will be complaining years from now that you wish that you would have taken control of your life. Well, guess what your today is right now? Your opportunity to do so is right now. So I just want to thank you for joining me for another adventure of the Hearts Hello Show, where together we embrace vulnerability, learn from each other, and spread love, one heartfelt hello at a time.